you guys for coming and listening to my speech. First off, the reason I'm doing this speech is to inform you guys of all the positive effects that recycling has on this planet and try and persuade you into recycling. And also just tell you how it could play such a big impact on the planet. In class, we did a survey over recycling, and some questions that I asked on there for my classmates to fill out and answer was some pros and cons to recycling, and there's a bunch of them. So if there's any questions that you have on cons, you can ask now.
Is there any way that recycling can lead to any sort of like pollution or?
Yes, there is some recycling that gets, or any waste that gets put out into the environment. It can rot over time, and then it can, like, all the chemicals and the toxins that come into it can eventually like reach into like the water and the land and all stuff like that can cause bad chemicals to be released. Like if it goes into the water, it can be polluted into what you're drinking, and it can cause some sicknesses to occur. And some other cons that it could have is that if people people are recycling and they go into landfills could eventually fill up too much, and then they can't keep up on it, so that's going to lead to a lot of the toxic chemicals to be released, and that's what can cause pollution into the air, which then it can also harm environment and wildlife if it gets to be too serious. And so that can cause a bunch of the wildlife to eventually go dead, and that's mainly some of the cons. And then now I'll inform you on some of the pros that recycling can have. Is there any questions that you guys have on pros?
Doesn't recycling save the environment by not cutting trees down and stuff like that? That you can recycle the paper and the plastic and the things that are made out of paper?
Yes, that is a good question. If we recycle paper, less trees will eventually have no reason to be cut down, because that's another main reason that recycling is beneficial, such as like paper for homework and newspaper and all stuff that you use on a daily. If you just recycle it, it can play a huge impact on the environment. Is there any other pros?
What does recycling do for creating jobs in the job industries?
In the job industries, there's a lot of people back in the day that didn't have enough money to afford to go to college, so they're working some jobs that without like a degree in a certain area. So it is beneficial to the people that don't have a certain degree and can still have a job that is still pays good too. So that's another reason that working in the recycling can cause or can lead to beneficial factors. But is there any other questions?
What do you do in your life to promote recycling?
In my life to promote recycling, I try to have my friends recycle whenever I'm with them. If they throw it away, I'll just say, oh, let me recycle that, or let me take that home to be recycled, because here at the farm we do a lot of recycling of cans and cardboard boxes and plastics and stuff, just to help out the environment. And I know that my family recycles also. They're big on that here, not just at the farm, so that's an impact that it plays on me. And is there any other questions that you guys have?
Can it be kind of a pain to have to separate everything as far as plastic versus cardboard versus glass?
Yes, there are certain things that actually are hard to sort when you're recycling. Some glasses are hard to be recycled because of it can break and all this stuff like that, which can get mixed in with the plastics and all the papers and stuff like that, which is hard when you have to go through and separate it all. And it's kind of just a hassle, but it's just something that has to be done. Joe?
Do you think you'll be a lifetime recycler?
Yes, I do think so. I think that if I recycle, it could lead to other people that will want to recycle, which can start like a chain reaction to recycling. So that is something that I'm going to keep in mind throughout my life. So in conclusion, I hope that you guys are going to start recycling so that you know all the benefits that it has on the environment, and I hope that my speech persuaded you guys enough to recycle.